Okay, mates. Presidential election time. So, anything exciting happening? I don't know. So, there has been some new polling, but I just want to give you an indication of what the polling appears to be in terms of the post-conviction. Jesus Christ. So, we have four pollsters. We have Morning Consult, we have INI Tip, we have I think Reuters had a new poll, and there was another one that had a new poll. You know what? I'm gonna do this real quick. Fuck off. Real clear. Let's go with this. Okay, four new post indictments. Okay, Reuters, Ipsos, Forbes, Morning Consult, and INI. So the funny part about this is, let's go with Reuters. The last poll they had was 40-40 as a tie. Now it's 39-41 in favor of Biden. So that's a 1 point shift, but still margin of error range. Margin of error is 2 points, by the way, for Reuters. Forbes Harris X. We went from a 50-50 to a 51-49 in favor of Trump. Margin of error, 3 points. Morning Consult. We went from 42-44 in favor of Trump. Pre-conviction to 44-45 in favor of Biden. And then the next poll released afterwards was 44-43 in favor of Trump. Margin of error, 1 point. Jesus Christ. Why would you have a sample size of 10,000? That's just, no. That's like bankruptcy at that point. Fuck. And then with INI, went from 40-42 in favor of Biden to 41 squared for everyone. So, the polling hasn't done anything. The only thing it has done is enrage Trump supporters, which, of course, they mostly are already enraged at the system, because they were already so in terms of the indictments in the first place. So, the only thing you have done is increased voter turnout. And you need to know something about the new coalitions. The Democrats are now in favor of low turnout. As a result, they are no longer registering new voters. Because in the state of Pennsylvania, for an example, new voters register with the Republicans. And new voters register with the Republicans in Nevada, and Arizona, and Wisconsin, and Michigan, and Florida, and Texas, and North Carolina, and Iowa. You get the point. People that are now registering to vote are siding against Biden, which is why Democrats are no longer registering people to vote. So, Democrats want a low turnout election, Republicans want a high turnout election. That's just how the Trump coalition is built. Now, for this video, I'm going to assume about the same turnout as 2020. Maybe about an equal increase over the last time, so about a 10% overall in terms of additional voters. Doesn't really change much for this video. So, first off, safe states. Florida, 12 points for Trump. So at the moment it's about a 54-43 in favor of Trump. Iowa is going to be an 18-point victory for Trump. Ohio is going to be 16 points for Trump. And they have Texas, which is going to be slightly over 10 points, so it's about 10.1, 10.2-ish. So that is going to be, those states are going to be safe Republican. Now, of the states you're seeing here, there are a few changes to be made. There have been a few polls in New Jersey that have Biden at a single-digit lead. So I'm going to put this as likely, and I'm going to add New Jersey to the next July video for data analysis. And the other one is New York. Yes, for some fucking reason, New York is getting closer. Emerson had it at Biden +9. And when it comes to polling in New York, Emerson is kind of good. So still comfortable victory for Biden. However, it's getting awfully close. And they have New York Times, who is let's say, very irresponsible in terms of polling, and they have usually a 5-point miss of Republican support. For an example, they had Kathy Hochul winning by 10. It was a 5-point victory. Kind of a big difference there. So funny part about this is, New York Times has Biden winning by 7. So assuming the same error, and I don't think it's going to be that same error, they would then have it at Biden plus 2. And I think that's going to be a quite ridiculous proposition to make, but I think it's going to be less than 10 points for the state of New York. So, any other likely states? Well, for Biden, Colorado, slightly under 10 points. We have New Mexico, 8 points. And that's it for the likely states for Biden. Likely states for Trump. We only have 2. North Carolina by 7. And then we have Wisconsin by 6. And that's because the polling error in Wisconsin underestimated Trump's support by 6 points. So that is basically it. And then we have the lean states. Let's go for Biden. Lean New Hampshire, about a 4-point victory for Biden. At least that's what my model has at the moment. Virginia is about a 3-point victory for Biden. And I'm going to give Nebraska second a leans, because I have seen polling that has Trump in charge of the race, but I don't think that's going to stick. Next up for the Republicans, Arizona, 4-point lead for Trump. The next one is Georgia. That is a 4-point lead for Trump. He already has the White House. Maine. I'm going to skip that one, and that's because of a very important thing that I need to point out for you. Michigan is about a 3-point victory for Trump. We have Nevada at slightly under 4. Polling aggregate currently has Trump winning by 5, but I think that's a little bit too bullish for Trump. Next up, Pennsylvania, 3.5 for Trump. And that's it. Minnesota, we're going to do that one real quickly. I think it's going to be with Kennedy on the ballot. I think it's going to be about a 2-point victory for Biden. Less than 2, actually. It's going to be about the same margin as Hillary Clinton had in 2016. And now for the sleeper. Maine. The first district is safe Democrat. It's going to go by Biden by about 10 to 12 points. About that particular range. Here's the problem. Maine's second is going to go to Trump by 15 to 20. That means Maine at large. You take the average of those two congressional districts, and you'll find suddenly Trump is leading Maine by 4 points. I don't know how this man does it, but at the moment it looks like Maine is going to flip at large. Which is funny, because Maine has decided to the Maine Democrats have decided to do anything in their power to make sure that they can't lose elections. Ranked choice voting, they're trying to do the interstate compact, banning voter ID, mail-in votes, all that shit, and it just keeps hammering on that Republicans somehow keep doing better over and over and over again. It went from a Obama plus 15 state to a very narrow one in 2016. I think about Clinton plus 1. And now it's going to flip to Trump. Pretty damn weird, if I do have to say so. So that's where we are at the moment. Trump 314, Biden 224. And I don't think, honestly, that there's anything in Joe Biden's path that he could get him anywhere near the White House again. No, there is nothing, actually. Because when it comes to the Israel-Palestine thing, there's no chance that he's going to take the credit for it, for any sort of ceasefire, because he has already said, this isn't my plan, it was the Israeli plan. So he basically took away all responsibility from himself. All bragging rights he just threw away. So he can't put that as a foreign policy victory. Then you have the notion that he has authorized American weapons to be used in Russian territory, which is a giant foreign policy failure. Then you have the Afghanistan thing. Then you have the economy. Then you have the obvious political indictments, where he basically just admitted on live television yet he was the one responsible for Trump being charged, which is hilarious because 4 years prior the Democrats were complaining about Trump using the justice system against his political opponent. It's almost as if the Democrats accuse the Republicans of doing the things that they are doing. Saul Alinsky, read it. So, enough of my demented ramblings. I'll do the House of Representative video next, and then I'll just leave it for this month of materials. I do have a new microphone order, and once that's in, I can start doing the recordings actually for the voiceover. A little bit better audio quality. Thank you kindly for watching. See you next time. Cheers.